Hi guys, welcome to yoga. It's going to be a Vinyasa flow for 45 minutes today. I'm Lacey and we're going to get right into it. So if you can, find a seated, comfortable position on the floor, on a mat. If you prefer to lie down on a blanket for your centering and relaxing at the beginning of practice, that's fine too. But just find a place where you can simply rest, relaxing into your body, not feeling any pressure or tension or uncomfortableness anywhere. So do what you need to do to be able to find that spot where you can physically rest. And then just check in with your shoulders. See if you can roll them down and back, maybe a few times if you need to. Really trying to relax them down and away from the ears. And then finding some length in your spine, really rooting those hips into the floor. Closing your eyes, sitting up nice and tall, and just really trying to tune out what's going on outside of your practice right now. Sounds, thoughts, things you need to do or things you didn't do. Just try to find a space at the seat of your heart where you're able to turn inward and forget about that stuff for a while. So as you take on that task, really try to notice how you're feeling physically today. Noticing if you do have some tightness in your shoulders, or maybe your hips are tight, or maybe you feel really good today. And just simply taking stock of where you're at is a really important way to check in and check that self-care daily and just see where you're at. So notice that. And then I want you to try to bring your awareness into your breathing, bringing that into the breath. And I want you to try to take full cycles of breath, meaning sitting up nice and tall, pushing the belly out and filling it up on the inhale. And then as you exhale, you start to use your core to pull that belly back. So full cycles, meaning filling up as far as you can, and then pulling everything back and emptying out as much as you are able to. And all while doing that, while keeping those eyes closed, relaxing into the mat even more, growing nice and heavy, and really trying to just keep your thoughts on that breathing, on that breath, not thinking about anything other than that for the next 45 minutes. So as you settle in, just really slow everything down. Take some time here to cultivate that breathing. Use full cycles of breath. Let's go through 5 more cycles. Slow everything down. And then on that final breath, bring your hands to prayer, sit up nice and tall. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. Open that jaw if you need to, and close it, really relaxing everything. Pause here. Take a big breath in. Inhale, lift the heart. And then drop the hands down, drop the chin. Open your eyes, lift your head. Inhale, roll those shoulders back and bring the soles of your feet to touch and letting those hips open. Trying to root down into the mat with those 2 sits bones. Maybe using blocks underneath your knees for some support. Or if you want to take your practice a little further, you can even put your foot on top of a block and let there be more space for your knees to drop down. But as you sit here for a couple breaths, just really let those knees naturally fall open by themselves. So breathing, letting them get heavier with each breath. Take 3 cycles of breath here. And then on that 3rd and final exhale, come out of that that stretch, and take the left leg over top of the right. Readjust your seat so we look like a shoelace, and then point your toes. We want to check in with those knees to protect those knees. Sitting up nice and tall, staying here if you feel it, or starting to bow forward, walking those hands out in front of you to the point where you feel that awesome stretch in those hips, taking it down. Then lengthening out of the crown of your head, so dropping that chin a little bit, really bowing into that, taking it nice and deep into those hips. 2 more cycles of breath. And then second exhale, walk your hands back up and switch out those legs. Go to the other side, readjust the feet, readjust those hips, sitting up nice and tall. And then again, staying here or walking those hands forward. Dropping that chin. Still trying to fill up the belly, even though we're bowing forward. One more cycle of breath. Maybe take it an inch further. And then walking everything back out. Bring your legs back into just a crisscross, or mine are kind of just in front of each other, sitting up nice and tall and taking a twist here. So inhaling, sitting up nice and tall, really pulling, knitting those ribs in together, and then taking a twist. Using your arms to help twist that. Maybe looking over back shoulder. One more breath, really twist into that. Exhale, release, come back to center, and then inhale, again, pulling everything in, rotating, using those legs, rooting the hips into the floor, taking that twist. One more breath, sitting up nice and tall. Exhale, release, come back to center. Take both of your legs over to one side. So we're kind of sitting more on the one hip. And we're just gonna do a little arm opener here. Really helps twist open and open up that side body. Keeping those shoulders drawn back if you can, and then extending overhead, maybe even turning that gaze up towards the sky. One more breath, really stretch out that top arm out of the body. Exhale, bring it over, and then switch it out to the other side. So we're just swinging those legs around to one side, sitting up nice and tall, rooting, and then taking that arm over to the side of the legs as well. One more breath, really stretch out that arm. And then release and come back to center. Come onto all fours. Get those knees directly underneath the hips. We want them hip distance apart, straight down. Hands are going to be directly down in front of you as well. So getting that set up. Curl those toes underneath for some support. Pushing that floor away, going into some cats and cows. So widening the sits bones, taking that scoop. So really dropping the belly and then pulling everything in. Pushing the floor away. Rounding, getting that C shape in the spine, and then going through each move a couple of times, breathing, just opening everything up. Maybe glancing over shoulder, take that twist. Go through 3 more cycles at your own pace. And then once you've gone through your 3, we're back at our neutral spine. Bring your big toes to touch. Take your knees wider than your hips. Sit down on your heels, so sink those hips down, and then start to walk your hands forward into a wide leg child's pose. Really letting the heart melt, dropping down. Take 2 more cycles of breath here. Really lengthening those arms, melting that space between the shoulder blades. And then walking those hands back out of that on that last exhale, bringing your knees back to underneath your hip distance apart, and then lifting into a plank, pulling and zipping up that core, really keeping everything tucked in, and then pushing up, downward facing dog. Pedal those feet a little bit, move your hips from side to side, stretch it out, keep those fingers nice and long. Inhale, lift it all the way up onto those tippy toes, and then exhale, drop those heels down as close to the mat as you can get. Lift those hips nice and high, and then on your next breath, walk your feet all the way up into a forward fold. Breathing here, really bend those knees if you need to get those fingertips to touch. Inhale, take a halfway lift, hands can come to shins, hand can be on blocks, hands can also be on the floor. Exhale, fold forward all the way down. Release those shoulders, release the head and neck. And then inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Sweep those arms. Exhale. Hands to prayer. Check in with your feet. We want them to be hip width apart up at the top of your mat. So if you're not quite up there, come on up. Get those feet right underneath the hips. Roll those shoulders back, standing nice and tall. Inhale, sweep those arms, really stretching. Exhale, fold forward, forward fold. Inhale, take your halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, step back with the left foot, low lunge. Breathing here. On your next breath, sweep those arms behind you, palms facing downward, stretch out from the top of your head. Inhale here. Exhale, bring those hands back down, drop that bottom knee, lift up. Arms come behind your head, resting behind the neck. Or if you want to support that low back, really roll those shoulders, keeping that, and then just leaning forward, supporting the low back. Your choice. Behind the head, on the shoulders, really bending into that there. Lean forward, one more breath, lift up. Bring those hands down, step back into a plank. Tuck everything in, lengthen towards the heels, and we're going to do some shoulder taps here. So taking your right hand, touch that left shoulder, touch, or left hand touches right. 3 times, really try to keep those hips still. And once you've gone 2, 3, you can drop all the way down or drop those knees down. Tops of the feet push into the mat. Bring your elbows outside. Little cobra here, back bend. Exhale, release. Bring those hands under the shoulders. Push back. Downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Breathing here. Inhale, walk up. Forward fold. Inhale, take your halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Stretch those arms. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, setting up for chair pose here again. Keeping those feet hip distance apart for this one. Squatting down like you're going to be in a chair. Palms are going to be facing each other. Tuck that tailbone under. And then rising up. Full extension. Full expression of the pose here. Breathing, breathing, stretching. Sink a little lower. Sink a little lower. One more breath, you got it. And then exhale, rise it up. Shake everything out. Come back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep those arms. Exhale, fold forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, step back with the right foot, low lunge. Same thing, set up those feet. Inhale, bring those arms, scoop them back. Try to get your belly off of that thigh instead of resting over, okay? We want to bring those arms back. Breathing here, getting that energy from your feet. One more breath, and then drop that bottom knee. Again, hands behind head or supporting low back. Bowing forward a little bit, keeping the shoulders drawn back wherever you are. Breathing here, one more breath, and then exhale, bring those hands down, step back into a plank, doing those shoulder touches. 3 times. And then releasing, chaturanga through. So dropping knees down if you need to. Cobra or upward facing this time. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk or float, forward fold. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale, fold all the way down. Drop the neck and shoulders. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to prayer. Setting up for second chair pose here. I'm going to throw in a little challenge. So if you want to try and challenge yourself, strengthen those ankles. We're going to come up onto our toes. So you're going to come up like that, and then you're going to squat down. So get that footing up on those toes. You can work on those arms or try something by bringing those arms back behind you. So you're squatting down, you're on your toes, you're squeezing those knees towards each other, those arms are drawn back. Breathing here, take 2 more cycles of breath, bending nice and low. 1 more breath, nice and low. Exhale, release, shake it out. Nice, that's a troublesome one, but you got it. All right, back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep those arms. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale, fold forward, step back with the left foot. Warrior 1. Windmill those arms. Warrior 1, I said. Warrior 1. So our arms are this way. All right, so our torso is facing the direction of those front toes. Relax those shoulders. 1 more breath here. Bring those hands down, step back into a plank. Holding those plank, we're gonna do 5 knee taps. We're gonna touch the knees to our mat, straighten. Last one, and then release and lower. Chaturanga through, so cobra upward facing, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk or float, forward fold. Inhale, take your halfway left. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, rise up to stand, sweep those arms. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale, fold forward, step back, warrior 1 with the right foot. Breathing here, big breath in. Exhale, release, bring those hands down. Again with the knee taps, 5 knee taps. So my knees are just barely touching the mat. I'm pushing the floor away, but I have a little mini bend in those elbows. And then chaturanga through, releasing and lowering. Cobra or upward facing, pushing back, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk or float, forward fold. Inhale, take your halfway left. Exhale, folding forward. This time, take that left foot behind the right foot. We're going to wrap it behind. So you're in your forward fold, it's behind, bowing forward. You can bend those knees if you need to. And if you want to play with it, walk the hands to one side, take a little twist to the other, and then release, come back, and then we'll switch it out. This time the right foot comes behind the left. Maybe stay stationary. One more breath here, and then bringing it back, forward fold. Again, take your halfway left. Releasing all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Spreading those fingers. Exhale, hands to prayer. Close your eyes for 1 cycle of breath. Regroup, inhale. Exhale, open that mouth, let it all out. All right, back to the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep those arms. Exhale, folding all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale, fold forward, step back with the left foot, crescent lunge, finding your crescent lunge here. So get that foundation, rising up, inhale. Exhale, release, bring that back knee down, bent knee runner stretch, clasp those hands together, lean into that front leg, breathing here. Again, if you want to support the low back, you can do that. Breathing here, 1 more breath, inhale. Exhale it out, bring your hands to be on the inside edge of that right foot, setting up for our locust. Take that right foot out to the side. You can stay here. You can lift up that back leg. You can come down to forearms. You can open up. Plenty of things you can do to play here. We're going to stay here for 2 cycles of breath. And then bringing that right foot back, coming back up onto your hands. Toe heel it so you're back into your lunge. Step back into a plank. Hold in here, pull everything in, and then push up, downward facing dog. Cycle of breath here, inhale it in. Exhale it out. Now, coming up onto our 3-legged down dog, come onto the toes of that right foot, lift the left foot out behind you, swinging it through, going into a pigeon here. So you really got to get that motion all the way into pigeon, and then sinking back. But for this first one, lifting up on that breath, and then exhale. If you want to come down to forearms, come down to forearms. Keep that right hip down towards the floor. 3 cycles of breath here. On that 3rd and final breath, come back up onto those hands. Curl that toe behind you, lifting completely up, shaking that out, and then taking a child's pose of your choice. Can be child's pose, can be that wide leg child's pose where you take your knees wider, whatever works for you. One cycle of breath here. Really breathe into that. And then roll yourself back out of that. Push back up into a downward facing dog. And then walk or float. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding all the way down. Inhale, rise. All the way to stand. Exhale. Hands to prayer. Set up for goddess pose here. Take your feet about 45 degrees so you can squat down, really dropping those hips nice and low here. Hands can stay on hips, be out to the side, or full expression of our pose. Don't be afraid to take your feet nice and wide. Squat down 10 pulses. Breathing. That's 5. 8, 9, and 10. Yes, toe heel those feet back to center, back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep those arms, really stretching. Exhale, fold all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way down, step back with the right foot, crescent lunge. Get that right foot in there. Rise up when you have that foundation. Breathing here, maybe looking up towards the sky. Inhale, stretch those fingers. Exhale, release down, bent knee, runner stretch. Clasping those hands, taking it forward or supporting low back. Breathing here. Inhale it in, one more breath. Exhale, release, bring those hands in the inside of that left foot. Take that left foot out to the side, setting up for your lizard. Again, maybe lifting off that back knee. Maybe pushing and opening up a little more. Maybe coming down to all fours, or your elbows, I should say. Down, and then stretching. 2 more cycles of breath here. If you are on your forearms, come back up onto your hands. Toe heel that left foot so it's back in the middle of your hands and step back into a plank. Holding, pushing that floor away. Push up, downward facing dog. All right, coming onto those left toes, lifting the right leg up behind you, swinging it all the way through for pigeon pose. See if you can really lengthen that leg out behind you. Sitting up nice and tall, breathing here, and then exhaling, taking it down if you want to, maybe coming down onto blocks, or staying here if you feel that stretch. Try to keep that left hip turned and facing towards the floor if you can, lengthening that back leg as well. Breathing here. 2 more cycles of breath. And then on that second exhale, if you are down on your forearms, getting those hands back underneath the shoulders, all 10 fingers spread, curl those toes in the back, lift up, downward facing dog, shake up that right leg, and then walk, hop, float, whatever you need to do to get up to the top of your mat into your forward fold. Inhale, take your halfway left. Exhale, fold forward, grab your two big toes with your peace fingers, and then bow forward, really out of the head. Bend your knees if you need to, and bring your elbows out to the side as you bow all the way down. So just using those toes to kind of pull that forehead closer to your shins. One more breath here, really drop the neck and the shoulders, and then slowly rounding everything, coming up to stand, pulling everything back. All right, taking your second goddess pose here. So now we know what it feels like. Take those feet nice and wide, and then sinking down here. And again, hands can be on your hips, they can be on the arms out to the side, or they can be completely upward. It's a little more challenging. And then sinking down, but this time we want to pulse those knees towards the back of the room. So you're sinking down, and you are pulsing those knees 10 times. And it doesn't have to be a big motion. You barely see that I'm moving here. 8, 9, and 10. Rising up, toe heeling those feet back together, shaking everything out. And we are back at the top of our mat. Roll those shoulders. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale, fold forward, step back, warrior one with that left foot. Revisit warrior one. Inhale, lift that heart. Exhale, transition to warrior two. Feet should not be changing. Gaze is changing over that front fingertip. All right, going into 3 flying warriors here. So bring those arms up over your head, coming up onto that right heel, and then back down to warrior two. 2 more like that. And then windmilling those hands down, stepping back into a plank, releasing and lowering all the way down. This time we're gonna rest and take a bound locust here. So bring your hands behind our back. You can use a strap here if you'd like to, or if you're able to clasp your hands right behind you, pushing the tops of your feet into the mat. You're going to, on your next breath, lift everything up. Roll those shoulders up, lift those legs off of the mat. So you're lengthening out of the core of your body. Those arms are going down the length of your spine, and then tuck that chin in. Breathe in here, lift up. 2 more breaths, you got it. Exhale, bring those hands back underneath your shoulders, releasing everything. Elbows alongside of the body. Curl those toes, push up, downward facing dog. 3-legged down dog here. Option to open. Maybe dropping a heel. If you want to take it into a wild thing, take it into a wild thing. If that isn't your practice. Flip that dog, bring it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk or float up to top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, rise up to stand with the arms. Exhale. Hands to prayer. Same thing on the other leg. Inhale, sweep those arms. Exhale, fold all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale, fold forward, step back, warrior one with the right foot. So get that foundation, bring those arms up. Breathing here, stretching. 90-degree angle, really leaning into that front leg. Exhale, release, coming into warrior two. Breathing here. Setting up for those flying warriors. Inhale, up onto that left heel. Exhale, bringing it down. 2 more. Really stretch and lengthen out of those fingers. Really dig down deep into that lunge. Last one. Exhale, release, windmill your hands down. Step back into a plank. Release and lower once again. So we're going to take our locust. a bound locust again, or if bow is in your practice and you want to try to grab both of your feet and lift up into your bow, your choice. Breathing wherever you are. Take 2 more cycles of breath. 1 more breath. Exhale, release it out. Get those hands underneath the shoulders. Curl the toes, push back. Downward facing dog. So staying here, maybe taking a variation of your 3-legged down dog, possibly opening, maybe flipping, taking your wild thing, whatever you're feeling today. And then flipping that dog back, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk or float, forward fold. Inhale, take that halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale. We're going to squat down into a yoga squat here. So taking your feet on that inhale, dropping everything down. Now my feet are going about 45-degree angle. Squatting down, getting those hips nice and low. And then if you're able to, you can sit on some blocks, or you can sink down in, let those elbows reach on the inside of those knees so you can even push them back farther as your hands are in prayer. So really sink that tailbone down here. Breathing. You got it. 1 more breath here. Sink nice and low. And then exhale. Bring those hands down so they're right underneath the shoulders. Standing back up, toe to your feet so they're hip width apart. Inhale, take your halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way down. Shake out the shoulders, shake out the head, shake everything out. And then inhale, rise all the way up to stand, sweep the arms. Exhale, hands to prayer. All right, coming into some standing balancing poses here. We're gonna start with tree pose today. So we're gonna come to stand into that left leg. Coming to stand into our left leg here. Making a kickstand with that right. So either staying here, possibly lifting up, or taking it even higher into that thigh, just avoiding that knee. So trying to be either above or below the knee there. Make sure those shoulders are rolled back, hands are wherever you're feeling, wherever you want to be. Rounding down with that standing leg, take 2 more cycles of breath. And then on that last exhale, just slowly letting everything go, shaking it out, and we'll go to the same thing on the other leg. And again, kickstand, calf, or thigh, keeping that knee drawn back. So that left knee wants to stay back, both hip points are facing forward. All right, shoulders are drawn back here. Hands can be where you like. You can even use a wall for support, your choice. 2 more cycles of breath here. Last one. Exhale, release it out, shake everything out. All right, we're setting up for dancer pose. We worked our arms back today. Your shoulders should be nice and primed. So coming to stand into that left leg. You're gonna bring that, I'll turn to the side here so you can see. So we're gonna come into stand in this left leg. The right foot is going to be flying behind you. So roll and open that right shoulder. Grab the inside edge of that right foot and then pull that knee so it's in line and underneath the body. All right, left arm's gonna float up next to the ear. And then as you're ready, you're gonna kick back at the same time as you are bowing forward with that left arm. So really lengthening out of that left arm, kicking into that back foot, and then tipping forward, looking at something, really trying to focus, maybe choosing a drishti, a focal point, breathing through this, and knowing that if we fall, we come right back in. 1 more breath, really go for it, and then exhale, release, shake it out, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So coming to stand into that right foot, roll that left shoulder open, grab the inside edge of that left foot this time. Now the right arm floats up, same thing, and keep in mind, every side is slightly different. Breathing here. Really lengthening, stretching it out, kicking into that back foot, that left foot. Take 1 more breath here, really stretch and lengthen, and then exhale, release, and shake that out. All right, last standing balancing pose before we make our way down to the mat. So Coming to stand into that right foot, we're going to have the option of a knee hug for balance with both hands and then opening up, or if you want to try to work on grabbing that big toe and just working on that in steps. So keeping that knee hugged in, maybe lengthening that arm out to the side, possibly opening, and then if you want to try eventually, working it out, trying to go for that full breath or that full stretch. But we can stay here. We get that same hip opening effect. We can open, take 2 more breaths wherever you're at. We're smiling, we're breathing, and then bringing that knee back and down. Yes, okay. Onto that other side, gotta keep the sides equal here. So coming to stand, rooting into that left leg. Again, pulling that right knee in now. Maybe staying here. Or trying and starting to open things up. Wherever you are tonight, honor that. We're not pushing. It's not about how far you can stretch, it's your practice. Breathing here. Take 2 more cycles of breath wherever you are. And then bringing it back to center and shaking that out. All right, come up to the top of your mat. Hip or hip distance apart, or feet are hip distance apart. Slowly take it down. Make it down like you're sitting in a chair without plopping down if you can. Really use that core sitting down. Yes, okay. Keeping those feet hip distance apart. We're going to activate that core. Bring those arms out to the side, sitting up nice and tall. Start to bring it all the way down. Lower back, middle back, upper back. Relax those arms down. Bring your feet a little closer. You can brush the backs of those ankles with your feet or your fingers, but keep them hip distance apart. Palms are going to be facing down towards the floor. Really roll those shoulders, relax them into the mat. On your next breath, lifting those hips up nice and high. Push that belly button up towards the sky. Breathing here. Or taking that challenge, bringing all the way into that left foot, lift that right foot nice and high, and dropping those hips down. We're gonna go for 5. We have 2 more on this side. And then we'll switch over and do 5 on the left leg lifted. Breathing. And then releasing. And bringing those hips all the way down. Bring your knees in. Give yourself a big hug. Rock from side to side. Take your knees wider than your shoulders. So essentially hugging in those knees, but off to the side. All right, take those arms out to a T, palms facing downward, so right in line with your shoulders. Keeping the knees tucked in, just gently starting to drop them over to one side. Keeping the opposite shoulder connected to the mat, but maybe turning your gaze to look at that. Hands looking at those fingertips. Slowing down the breath, letting your body grow nice and heavy. One more breath here. Then activate the core. Lift those knees back to center. Exhale, drop them to the other side. Again, keeping that shoulder connected to the mat. Turning and gazing over the opposite arm's fingers. Two more cycles of breath here. And then activating that core, bringing those knees back, and then just giving yourself another hug. Inhale, take a full body stretch. Stretch everything out. Arms overhead. Lengthen those legs as far as you can. Close your eyes. Let your body grow heavy, but nice and tall. Keeping everything lengthened. Begin to cross that left ankle over top, or the left foot over top of the right ankle. And then above your head, your right arm is going to grab that left wrist. And taking a C shape here, but keeping everything rooted. So keeping both shoulders to the mat, both hip points rooted to the mat. You're just gonna start to swing those legs around and stretching those arms out and stretching those arms around. We're looking for that good stretch along the whole side of the body. I feel it from my hip all the way to my shoulders. Just stretching, lengthening, gently pulling and guiding that left arm above your head, but keeping it on the floor. Two more cycles of breath. And then gently, just walk those hands back, swing those feet back around and alternate. We're gonna go to the other side. So now the right foot switches and goes on top of the left. This time with the arms still above the head, left hand grabs the right wrist. And again, just swinging everything around. Keeping the hips and shoulders glued to the floor. Two more cycles of breath. And then just gently unravel, come back, and take a happy baby here. Last pose for your practice besides Shavasana. So if you want to grab both feet at the same time, grab the outer edges and drive those knees towards the floor, maybe rocking from side to side, or if this is too intense, grabbing those knees and just simply pulling in. Take two more cycles of breath here. And then releasing after that and taking any additional poses you feel like you need or preparing for Shavasana. Simply taking those feet out nice and wide, letting them flop open, arms out to the side, really relax those shoulders, closing your eyes, letting your body weight go and release back into the floor, relaxing that space between your eyebrows, relaxing your tongue, just letting everything and cool down. So once again, turning inward, shutting off those thoughts for a few more moments, and just taking this time for yourself, letting your body soak in that practice and feeling that shift. So take some time here, slowing it down, turning inward once more. As you continue breathing deeply, with your eyes still closed, I want you to picture a white light coming from your heart. And as you breathe each breath, that white light begins to expand. And it starts to encompass more and more of your body. As it spreads, you feel its warmth, you feel its light. Let that entire white light cover your body, shielding you, protecting you, guiding you, and calming you for the rest of your day. Begin to deepen your breath. As you deepen your breath, begin to move your fingers again, moving those toes once more, allowing them to reawaken. And then as you're ready, drawing your right arm alongside of your head, Bringing your knees into your chest, turning over to lie on that right side of the body. Letting your whole weight go once more. Take a big breath in. Exhale it out. Push yourself back up into a seated position, bringing your hands to prayer once more. Sitting up nice and tall. Notice how your body feels after practicing yoga. Check in and see if you have any other places where you're feeling stress or tension, and I urge you to just let go. Breathe some breath there, sensing that light. Take a moment to thank yourself for spending some time on your mat. And we'll close our practice together by sharing a namaste. So thank you, everyone. And namaste. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed your practice.